Hey guys, what's going on? Garanax here, bringing you another video on 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. So after 2 days of Final Boss Meliodas and Elizabeth, we still don't see any new teams around, unlike the previous Final Bosses. Mostly because Derieri is just so dominant in dealing with bosses. Currently, I am sitting at top 9.75% with this team here, Green Gustav, Red Gotha, Green Escanor and Green Alioni on the sub. I expect this will slip to probably top 13 or 14% by the end of Final Boss, hopefully still able to stay within top 15%. Now I didn't pull on Derieri's banner because I'm saving up for LV Meli, as we have seen from a lot of speculations, quote unquote, confirming LV Meli will be coming in this 6-month anniversary, but I'll make a separate video on that. The top 10 players are using the same team, with Red Derieri, Red Gotha, Red Merlin and also Red Jericho on the sub. No doubt if you use Red Derieri, it becomes much easier to score high because of the sheer amount of damage she's able to dish out. If, like me, you didn't pull on Derieri, it is still possible to score a decent amount of points, that is if you are satisfied with top 15%. If you are aiming for top 5%, having Derieri will make it much more easier. Now let's take a look at the team that I'm using. So the team I'm using is Red Gotha, Green Escanor, Gustav and Alioni on the sub. So Gotha is meant for the upgrade and the passive. He's on HP defense set and his ult is 2-6. Escanor is my DPS unit, and if you don't have Escanor, you can replace him with Green Jericho or perhaps Blue SR Aaron. My Escanor is on attack defense set with the top and bottom row UR gear, and he's only 2-6. I'm using Gustav because I don't have a Red Merlin. If you have a Red Merlin, definitely use her, because you can literally score points just by using Red Merlin. So my Gustav is on HP defense set and 6-6 ult. And lastly, I have Alioni on the sub to boost up damage for my Escanor. He's on HP defense set just to make sure that I go past the 160k CC requirement. If you are using Jericho as the DPS unit, you could use Death Pierce on the sub as well, because he reduces the crit resistance and crit defense of the enemy. For the food, I am using attack food to boost up damage. If you are using Jericho, you can use attack food or crit damage food. So the main strategy is the same as Guild Boss Kelak. You want to have a level 3 freeze and ult to kill them off. And since Final Boss has 2 phases, you also want to make sure that you have your level 3 freeze and ult ready before going into phase 2, so you can one-shot one of them. You want to focus down on Meliodas on both phases because he can't be attack disabled and he will remove freeze at the start of his turn. Whereas you can attack disable, recovery disable and freeze Elizabeth to control her. So you want to take down Meliodas because he can deal more damage in that sense. On the first turn, you want to start working on your DPS's ult and have at least a level 2 freeze so you can one-shot Meliodas. You can see I'm not having the best RNG for this run either, because I did not get any Escanor's card on this turn. So what I do here is that I put out an attack disable to cancel Elizabeth's turn entirely and just throw out some cards. When you don't have good RNG, all you can do is stall the time and hope that you get the cards that you want the next turn. And I still didn't get any Escanor's card on this turn. Luckily, I got another upgrade card and tons of freeze here. So I merged the upgrade and used it to upgrade all my freeze cards. Right here, I got a little bit lucky to naturally merge Escanor's card, and that will allow me to get his ult the next turn. So I ult with Gotha to remove their ult gauge, and use Escanor's level 2 cards to get my ultimate the next turn. Seeing that I have so many freeze cards, I also put out a freeze on Elizabeth just to shut her down. So once you have gotten your ult, you want to freeze Meliodas and ult on him to kill him immediately. I found that with my 2-6 Escanor, a level 2 freeze will only deal roughly 300,000 damage, which barely kills Meliodas. So you want to make sure that you have a level 3 freeze to confirm a kill, or have a follow-up attack to make sure it kills Meliodas. If you have a higher ult, then this shouldn't be a problem. Once you have taken down Meliodas, focus on getting your DPS ult again, and also a level 3 freeze while taking down Elizabeth. You want to use Gotha's attack disable to prevent Elizabeth from dealing damage to your Gotha in order to stack up his passive. Now this passive is really important if your DPS does not have a high ult level. I found that in my case I need at least 3 stacks of his passive to one-shot Meliodas in phase 2. If you are using a 6-6 Red Merlin, you would want to rush her ult as well. In phase 2, you want to freeze and ult Meliodas immediately. If you are using a 6-6 Red Merlin, you can ult Elizabeth for the 1-turn clear in phase 2. If you don't have a 6-6 Red Merlin, then you can take down Elizabeth normally or rush another ult to get extra damage and extra points. Just take note of the number of turns you take, as you don't want to take too much penalty for taking too many turns. So that's the strategy for clearing Final Boss Meliodas and Elizabeth. You want to make sure to farm this to get enough coins so that you can buy out everything you need from the shop. Your priority should of course be the cosmetics. If you're not doing this for Elizabeth's cosmetics, you haven't got your priorities right. Now once you have cleared the cosmetics, you want to get the engraving stones and hammers and anvils and awakening stones. And these should be the priorities. For demon materials, chalices and gold chests, you can get them if you want to keep farming the boss. I hope this video explains the strategy clearly so you know what are the requirements to get a high score run. Without Derieri, it's still possible to get a decent high score, but don't expect it will get you to top 5% easily. But top 15% is definitely doable. If you have any other tips for Final Boss Meliodas and Elizabeth, feel free to comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross videos. That's it for today, take care and have a great day ahead.